Alright, what's up, homies? It's Waldo, and today we're here with episode number 5 of my Philadelphia Phillies historical franchise right here on Out of the Park Baseball 17. We are right where we left off, July 30th, 2010, a day before the trade deadline, and in the last video, I asked you guys for some suggestions if you think I should just stand pat at the deadline, if I should try to make some moves and improve the team, because you see we are 61 and 43, one game back of Washington in the division. You see, we are 2 losses behind them. We have the same amount of wins, but they have 41 losses. We have 43. And in the wild card, we are only 1 back of Cincinnati, and it's the same thing. We have the same amount of wins, but we have 2 more losses than them. So we are 1 game back in both the wild card and the NL East. But for trade suggestions, you guys left me some good suggestions, and if I remember to put the comments on the screen, you guys will actually be able to see it. I think I'm going to start doing that a little more. But you see, Nick said, I think 1 through 4 in your lineup is pretty much set. Rollins and Worth are getting on base, and Utley and Holiday are doing a great job of driving them in, which I agree with. You can see there on the basic stats there under primary lineup. I think Nick is onto something there. Maybe you could look into a right-hander first baseman, help Lind out in a possible platoon situation. He could also be valuable as a pinch hitter against lefties. Wouldn't worry about starting pitching, which I agree with. I mean, he mentioned Hamilton and Strasburg, and we even have Chris Carpenter, who in his late 30s is 15-2 with the ERA under 2. So that's a heck of a 1-2-3 going into the playoffs if we make it. And even J.A. Happ, he's a good number 4 guy to have. So pitching, I think rotation-wise is definitely fine, which is what Nick said. Extra arm in the bullpen won't hurt your team, although I wouldn't say it's a priority, and I would agree with that. But I actually did end up making a trade, and you'll see that in a second. Other than that, I think maybe a backup outfielder who can handle himself with the bat would be nice. I believe those types of players can really make a difference as a pinch hitter in the playoffs, which I agree with as well. So thank you for the suggestion, Nick. And then Gaming King suggested look at trade offers for Utley and Rollins, as even though they're still being productive, in a year or two they're going to be on the decline. And I mean, I'm not going to do that at like this trade deadline, but I think as we get into the offseason and a couple of years into the future, we definitely will look at offers. I mean, it's the same thing I said with Trout in the Angels franchise. We'll definitely look at offers for these guys. I'm not going to say I'm going to trade them, but I mean, he does have a point. I mean, I don't want this to be like what happened in real life with the Phillies, where we hold on to these guys for longer than we should have. I'm definitely going to look into offers for Utley and Rollins, just to see what I can get. I'm not going to necessarily trade them, but just to see what their value is, see what I can get for them. Maybe just continue to add to the farm system that is one of the better ones in the league. So definitely that is a good suggestion. Just looking to see what I can get, not necessarily trading them, but just looking to see what I can get. But I did mention I made a couple trades. So if we go to the trade log, you will see first trade I made was with the rival Mets, who are in rebuilding mode. So I got a backup outfielder in Luke Scott, as Nick suggested, along with Eric Campbell and Sam Freeman, 2 prospects for Cesar Hernandez, Anthony Gose, Michael Taylor, and Kyle Kendrick. So you see I traded 3 prospects to the Mets. I check that little like strengths and weaknesses thing that shows up whenever you try to initiate a trade, and said that they could use a second baseman, well, not a second baseman, some second baseman help in the minor leagues, and they could also use some outfield help. So I traded them Cesar Hernandez, Anthony Gose, and Taylor. Taylor and Gose are really killing it this year. Gose at AA and Taylor at AAA. But you got to give up stuff to get stuff. As bad of a way of explaining that is. And I decided to get Luke Scott. He is really bad slump right now. He's sitting under the Mendoza line, currently 187. He only has 2 home runs and 17 RBIs, but I think his power could definitely play well in Citizens Bank Park. He's not too bad with the bat, and he's not terrible in the field. He doesn't have speed. He's not terrible in the field. He's not great, but he's not terrible either. And if we go to here, he actually has a very high leadership ability, normal work ethic. The only things that are low about him are his greed and his intelligence, but I'll take that, that really high leadership ability, especially out of a backup outfielder as we try to get into the playoffs here for the stretch run. I'll definitely take that. And then the prospects I got, Eric Campbell. It seems like he could be a solid super utility guy. It doesn't look like he's ever going to be much with the bat, but he can play almost anywhere in the field. You see, he can play first, second, third, short, and left field. And I might try him at right field at some point too, if need be. So he has a solid eye. His avoid Ks, it's okay. It's it's not average, but it's okay. But it's always nice to have these guys in the system. That way, in case someone goes down for only maybe like 2 weeks or something, you can call this guy up, and maybe he won't get it done with the bat, but that he won't kill you in the field. So I decided to get Eric Campbell. And also got Sam Freeman, who it seems like he could be a solid relief pitcher if his control ever improves. I know he's doing okay right now. I mean, you see he has an ERA of 2.12 right now, but in the past, I think the control kind of hurt him. I mean, you see it's extremely small sample size, but you see those ERAs right there. They're not too good. But in 2008, he had a solid year and 20 appearances with an ERA just over 3. So I'm kind of hoping that Freeman can develop into a solid bullpen arm for us. He's only 23, so there's definitely some potential there. And we traded Hernandez, who is a second baseman. You see, 2.5-star guy, really, really good speed. He can bunt for base hits, but once again, doesn't seem like he can be anything special with the bat in this game. He's okay defensively. He can avoid Ks. His eye's not that bad, but just seems like he, I just didn't really think there was a place for him here. And then we also traded Anthony Gose, who once again really, really fast, but not much with the stick, even though he's doing pretty well in the minor leagues. And Michael Taylor, another speed guy who is the best of the three when it comes to hitting the ball, but that is about it. And it seems like he actually got on the Major League roster immediately. So that is that. And then the second trade we made was for just a bullpen arm. We made a trade with the Chicago Cubs, trading Jeff Weaver, who was just not doing very well for us this year, for Angel Guzman. Now, one of the reasons I made this trade was Weaver's contract. I forgot that we had him signed through next year. And even though the contract's not too bad, you see, he'd only be making $2.4 million. I decided just to get out of that contract and instead get Angel Guzman, who is only making less than $1 million this year, although he probably will make more when we get to arbitration. But he's only making $720,000, and he's having an exceptional year. Now his BABIP is really, really low, so I'm hoping that he continues to get lucky just for the next few months, because the last thing I want is him to just have an ERA like over 4 or 5 heading into the postseason if we make it. But as of now, he's doing really good. His ERA is 1.01, or his WHIP is 1.01. His ERA is 1.16. In 36 appearances, he's pitched just over 46 innings. He's only allowed 2 home runs, which I suppose is not all that bad. But those are the 2 trades that I made at the deadline. So, no blockbuster trades here, but, just decided help out the team just a little bit, and hopefully this helps us get into the playoffs. And you see we got a trade proposal from Toronto. I will mention I tried getting Roy Halladay just for the heck of it, but he actually exercised his 10-5 rights, so I don't know if it would happen again. I don't know if, let me just see here. Like, I tried getting, because, I was looking into it. I was thinking, if I could get Halladay, this team would be set. The pitching rotation would be set. I also tried getting Matsui. You see, he exercised his 10-5 right to veto any trade. So if we're ever going to get Halladay like the Phillies did in real life, we're going to have to wait until after 2012 when he becomes a free agent, although at that point he's going to be 35, so I don't really know if that's the best thing for this team. So probably won't be seeing any Halladay in this game like the Phillies had him in real life for several years, but it's all good. If we look at the calendar, though, you see we're right here at the end of July. We're playing this 3-game set against the Nationals, and then we are going to be playing some divisional opponents still. We have 3-game set against Florida, 3-game set against the Mets, then another 3-game set against the Mets with this 3-game set against the Dodgers kind of sandwiched in between. And in September, we are playing our divisional opponents a lot, it seems. Actually, starting on April, that's nice, September 6th, we're only playing divisional opponents from September 6th to October 3rd. So you see September 6th, we play the Marlins, then we play the Mets, Marlins, Nationals, Braves, Mets, Nationals, and we end the season against the Braves. So that'll be good if we're still in the divisional race, because we have a ton of games against divisional opponents. So that's always good. But anyway, I think I'm going to simulate actually up to the start of September 1st, just see where the team is at. Hopefully we're still in it, and hopefully I'll have some good news. Okay, it is September 2nd, 2010. We just finished up this set against the Dodgers. We had an excellent month of August. You see, we only lost 7 games in the month of August, and 5 of them came in the last 2 weeks. You see, we went on an 11-game winning streak at one point here. It started on Friday the 6th, and then it went until the 18th. An 11-game winning streak. So now we are currently sitting 84-51. If we look at the team home screen, we have now 7 games up on Atlanta. So you remember we were 1 game back of Washington when we started the simulation. Now we are 7 games up on Atlanta, 10.5 up on Washington, and I'd be interested to see if we're the best team in the NL, because that would definitely be helpful, and we are. So right now we are the best team in the NL. We are actually the best team in the entire league with this 84-51 record, although we have kind of slowed down just a bit. You see we are 4-6 in our last 10 games, but I think it is safe to say that we will be able to make the playoffs here as we get done our final non-divisional set of the year, because as you remember, we were just playing divisional opponents for the rest of the season, and we sweep the Milwaukee Brewers, putting us at 87 wins. So I would love to be able to win 100 games here. That would be incredible. Chris Carpenter wants to come back. That is something that I would definitely want to look into, because he's been extraordinary this year. I don't know how else to really describe him. And Matt Holliday got injured. That is fantastic. Which is all good. I mean, at least we're already in a solid position to make the playoffs, but let's see. So we're going to place them on the 15-day DL. The rosters did expand, so I could have called up some other guys, but just didn't really feel like it. So now I guess we will call up John Mayberry Jr., I suppose. So now it's a good thing we got Luke Scott, because now I can put him into the lineup and not have to worry about it. Yeah, so let's put in Luke Scott, I suppose. Put him in left field, and then we can put Mayberry into Scott's role. So we'll put Mayberry, and we'll have Mayberry be the second option off the bench. And then we will do, whoops. So it does kind of suck that we lost our, I will put Kapler in at left field against lefties. So yeah, then Mayberry, and then he will be our number 1 option off the bench, number 2 option. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so yeah, it does suck that we lost our number 4 hitter, but I guess we can put Linden, I suppose. Creedy is not doing good at all. Yeah, we'll put Linden, and we'll drop Kapler to maybe, I don't know, we'll put maybe, should we keep him 5th? I guess we could keep him 5th. I mean, I'd rather have Barajas further up. I think we'll put Barajas 5th, then Kapler, then Creedy, then Victor. Yeah, okay, I like that. So then, what did we have? So we had Barajas, and then what was it? Kapler, Creedy, Victorino. So it would be Scott, Creedy, Victorino. Okay. So I like that. I think that will be a solid lineup for us. If we go back to scores and schedules, hopefully we don't have any other injuries that we have to deal with. Because so we lost Jason Kendall, so we lost our backup catcher. Unfortunately, it seems like Michael Young hit for the cycle. No, Chris Young hit for the cycle. Okay. All right. So we have now lost 3 straight. So hopefully we don't go on a terrible losing streak here. I'm not gonna just cut out because we only have 1 month to go. So hopefully we don't kind of flame out here, because we did have a solid lead. Now we've lost 5 of 6. All right, 21-3. There you go. That's how you stop a losing skid there. Win 21-3, and then hopefully we can take 2 of 3. No, we cannot. So the Phillies are in a little bit of a rut here. They've kind of seemed to slow down a little bit. Hopefully they didn't use, they didn't win all their games in August. It's kind of worrisome. Okay, so we took 2 or 3 from the Nats. This Braves series is important because they were second, so we should be able to take 2 or 3. It would be nice. Okay, so we took 2 or 3. Lehigh Valley Iron Picks players. So we're losing Jeff Bloom, and we have Nomar Garciaparra. I did not even know we had him. That's his, okay. I did not even know we had Nomar Garciaparra, but okay. So looking at the team home screen, now we're only 5 games up on Atlanta. We play Atlanta the final series of the year. So this is getting a little bit worrisome if we can't take care of business, especially like if we lose 2 out of 3 to the Mets. It's going to be a little bit worrisome. All right, so we won against the Mets. All right, we lost our pitching coach and our hitting coach, which is fine. I tried to re-sign them during the season, but they did not want to go back. I guess they want a higher job, which is all good. And here we go. Now we've won 3 straight. Lost 1. Kendall's eligible to come off the DL, so we'll put him right there on the team. We're just going to leave him on the bench for right now, though. And we received a personal message. Gabe Kapler gets injured for 2 weeks. Fan-freaking-tastic. So now we really need Matt Holliday to come back. So looking at the team home screen, so we are only we are 3 games up on the Atlanta Braves. And look who we play for 3 games. The Atlanta Braves. It always works out that way, doesn't it? So we're not going to win 100 games, unfortunately, but we have a 3-game set against Atlanta. So all we need to do is win 1 game. That's it. We just have to win 1 of these games, and we're going to be in the playoffs. And we won that. Okay, so we have now won the NL East. So we don't have to worry about having to win like the last game. And Chris Carpenter gets injured for 4 weeks. Oh my gosh, nothing's ever easy for this team. Nothing. And there we go. So we're going to the playoffs, and we ended the season with a loss. So we ended our season 98-64, but now we really have to change up our pitching staff and such, because now let's put him on the DL. Place on the DL. During the playoffs, must miss the following series. Yeah, that's fine because he's not going to be back in time. So I guess we could go in with a rotation of Hamels, Strasburg, and Happ, bump Jackson to the bullpen as a middle relief option. So we're going to go with a 3-man rotation. I think Hamels should be good to go. No, he probably won't be good to go. How about Strasburg? Will he be good? Okay, yeah, so we're going to have to start with Strasburg because I don't think Hamels will be good to go by tomorrow. It seems like we're actually away at Houston. So what, did we not finish with the best record in the National League? No, we did not. Houston and even Arizona caught up to us. So Arizona finished 101-61, and Houston finished 162. We finished 98-64, and that was the 3rd best record in the National League. So that's a little upsetting. We were in position to get home field advantage through at least the first 2 rounds. I forget who won the All-Star game, but looking in the AL, Boston won the AL East by 1 game. Wow, look at the AL East. Boston finished 97-65. Tampa finished 96-66. The Yankees finished 95-67. And the Blue Jays finished 91-71. The AL was very competitive this year, it seems like. The Angels went 97-65. The Athletics were 3 games out. The Royals finished 92-70. The Twins were 90-72. So it seems like the Twins kind of are getting a little screwed, unfortunately, with there only being 1 wild card. That's actually pretty crazy. Like, the Yankees finished 1 game out of the wild card and 2 games back of the division. So that's a shame. If there was 2 wild cards, the Yankees would have been good to go. But unfortunately, there is only 1 wild card at this point. Of course, it is only 2010. But you see, we have a game here against Houston. I'm not accidentally going to simulate past it like I did in the World Series. But we need to fix up this team real quick. So I think our pitching staff should be good to go, right? Yes. Is Hamels ready to go? Okay, well, actually, yeah. Then Hamels can go today. Strasburg can go tomorrow, and then Happ can go on the 8th for sure. Yeah, he'll be ready to go on the 8th. And if not, then we can just throw Jackson in there, and we'll be good to go. So Guzman was able to keep it up, which is good. In 8 appearances, he had a 2.84 ERA, which was higher than it was in Chicago, but at least, he was better than Weaver, so that's all I can really ask for. So, Kapler, we need to put... Oh, no, he's only out for 1 week, so we'll keep him on the team. So I guess we can go with this. So we can put... Oh, that's right. Mayberry can't be on the team because he was called up in September. Damn it. Oh, that's not good. Well, that is not good at all because now we don't really have a good backup outfielder that we can use. Can we call up Brown? Is he allowed to be on the playoff roster? I forget. Is he eligible for the playoff roster? No, he's not. Okay, whoops. Well, that's not good because now we don't have any backup outfielders, which I suppose isn't really a big deal in the playoffs, but it would just be nice. So I guess, okay, lineups. So I guess we will continue to go with this Rollinsworth, Utley, Lind gimmick until Holiday gets back. Hopefully he gets back in time for the NLCS if we make it. I imagine we'll make it, although I want to look at Houston's team because it's crazy. We still can't get away from Houston. When we were with the Angels series, Houston killed us, and now we're with the Phillies, and Houston's still going to kill us, aren't they? I already know how this is going to happen. So, yeah, well, I think we're just going to keep that lineup. I think that's fine. And then, obviously, we have to take Kapler. Oh, wait a minute. I guess we'll go with Luke Scott, right? I guess we kind of have to, right? Unfortunately. So we'll put Luke Scott in there. Should he be our cleanup hitter? I mean, he has some power, so maybe he should, actually, because here's our Adam Lind. Well, actually, we could go Lind Scott, I suppose. Yeah, let's go Lind Scott Barajas. I think that would be fine. So Lind Scott Barajas, Creedy Victorino. Okay, so I like that lineup. You know, all things considered. Scott would be... No, Victorino's the center fielder. Scott would be the left fielder. And that's all good there. Okay. Alright, so now we are good to go. I don't need to worry about pinch hitters or runners because I'm going to be controlling people. So looking at the end-of-season stats, if we start by ERA for pitchers, actually we won't do that. So Hamels had a really good season. He had a 2.14 ERA. He went 17-9. Let me see. What is his whip? His whip was 0.90. He held opponents to a .202 average. 287 strikeouts for Mr. Cole Hamels. 42 walks. He let up how many home runs? He let up 16 home runs, which I guess isn't all that bad. Edwin Jackson let up 34. Jesus God. Strasburg in his debut season did very, very well. A 2.72 ERA, a 1.04 WHIP. He had 110 strikeouts, just 27 walks, held opponents to a .209 batting average. His FIP was 2.81, so I think definitely we as bad as it is to say, we picked a really good year to like shit the bed, right? Because we got Strasburg, who's going to be at the front of our rotation for at least the next decade if everything goes to plan. And then J.A. Happ, once again, another solid season. This season, he had a 3.41 ERA, a 1.17 WHIP. He struck out close to 200 guys. He walked 67, so I'd like that number to be a little lower. But I guess when your control's a 50, you kind of have to expect that. So even Happ had another solid season, so I'm kind of happy I kept him. And in our bullpen, Wirtz, a very good season as our closer, an ERA under 2, 44 saves. Mike Gonzalez had 5 saves. Grilly, it seemed, kind of broke down towards the end of the year. His ERA close to 5. But Guzman did good in his time with us. Edwin Jackson did solid as a starter for us in an ERA under 4, which is what we signed him to do. Feliciano, Balfour, and Davis, they also did very well. Considering Davis was a Rule 5 pick, he did pretty well for us, so I'm happy about that. And if we look at lineups sort by OPS, Worth had a very good season, 293, 375, 480, triple slash. He OPS at 855, 27 homers, 90 RBIs. He stole 15 bases. He was not caught once, so good for him. Chase Utley, he was hitting over 300 for most of the season. Seems like he dipped down towards the end of the year. He ended up finishing with the 295, 373, 479 slash. He OPS at 853, 22 homers, 89 RBIs for him. He was hit 30 times. That's typical Chase Utley for you. 119 strikeouts, 49 walks. He stole 16 bases, caught 4 times. Adam Lind, as our starting first baseman for most of the year, had 22 dingers, 96 RBIs. He had 254 with the OPS at 741. Jimmy Rollins hit 279 with 40 stolen bases. He was close to a 4-win player. He also had 12 home runs, 72 RBIs, 96 strikeouts, 43 walks. Luke Scott did good in limited time. He was hitting under the Mendoza line when he got here. Now he's hitting 232. He had 7 home runs. I think 5 of those came with us. Barajas, he did pretty well for most of the season, but then he came back from injury, so I guess he was still shaking the rust off just a little bit. And then Creedy, I guess I can't be too upset, and he's gone after the year. Victorino did okay. He stole 6 bases, hit close to 260, OPS just under 700, and then the rest of the guys. So I'm pretty happy with how the team did overall. I got to tell you, I'm pretty surprised we won 98 games, although I am a little disappointed because we could have won well over 100 if we played well there at the end of the season. But if we took a look at our schedule, we really just broke down towards the end of the year. You see, we lost how many games in September? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And we won how many games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, we went 12 and 13 in September, and we just had like a really bad losing skid there at the end of August. So we could have won well over 100 games if we just, played like, I'm not saying 11-game winning streaks all the time, but, if we just played a little more consistently. But unfortunately, you can't control some things, and at least we're in the playoffs in our second year. That's always good. But I'm going to end this episode here. I imagine it's probably a little short, but in the next episode, we will head into the NLDS going up against the Houston Astros. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day.